And hey, everybody. What did I? Nope. There I did. I turned on the right one. I thought I was unmuting my fellow human beings, and I inadvertently muted them. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday. You made it. It's the end of the week. Do you know what that means? Anybody? Anybody?
Dungeons and Dragons. We play Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons. I realize I'm spoiled. I think I play every night of the week. And we can get to that topic shortly. However, hey guys, gals, everybody, welcome to Age of Arcanum session or episode 11 tonight. I titled it Finders Keepers in honor of Harrow's obsession with magical items. But we'll get to the recap in a minute. Let's do a little housekeeping first. And I always like to start with my players. Shannon, plug away.
Hell. First plug is D&D Beyond, if you could load my character. That would be great. Second plug is a podcast called Umbilico del Diablo. Yes, I desperately need to edit the next episode. I know. It is a Mage the Ascension 5th edition podcast. So we borrow from some Vampire the Masquerade and Mage rules, kind of homebrew them together. There's a sanity system that I have a love-hate relationship with. We will see why. And I think it gets pretty good, and this guy's on it. And I realize that I'm in Discord and I'm pointing at Dan, but I'm probably not doing that on the screen.
I love it.
You can find that basically, I don't know. You can find that basically anywhere you can find podcasts.
Thank you, Shannon. And just really quick, who do you play tonight?
Oh, I play Grayson Gellowhall, a drow death cleric with a penchant for naming everything.
And what's her current favorite pet, or their current favorite pet?
Their current favorite pet, his name is Philip. I would say we're more like, soul bonded. I don't know if I treat him as a pet so much as
And he's currently being aided by a device due to the injury that he sustained.
Spider chanclas.
Yep.
It's pretty great. Myself and my good girlfriend, friend, Dara over here made spider chanclas for Philip after he got smashed one time. And guys, pays off. That spider does ludicrous damage and almost killed me. It was great.
I knew those armor backstory skills would come in handy. Spider chanclas.
All right, so Dan playing Harrow. Go ahead and plug away and tell us a little bit about Harrow.
Oh, I do play that person. They are a person I play. I also play other things from time to time, including playing with the Uncanny Pros. It's another Twitch stream. We tend to stream every Tuesday. We have lots of different content there. Some of it I'm in charge of. Others exist, I guess. I don't know. They're pretty good. But we currently have two ongoing games, the Heroes of the Realm, as well as Twilight's Dawn, which is a game that I'm running. We've been alternating, and as well we've also been doing a handful of very highly enjoyed and productive cosplay streams as well. Definitely come check it out. It's a small community, but we're building, and the fan base is passionate. Got a few new followers last game out. That stream should still be up, and it was very popular. So,
is that on Twitch, Dan?
That is on Twitch. That is a Twitch.
Can you? I can't remember if you PM'd that to me. Can you PM it to me so I can follow it, and then I will throw it into our social hype work that I do with Hope. Hope has 4,000 followers, and she does a lot of good works for the TTRPG community. So if you're out there, everybody, go check out hashtag Hope for TTRPG, or TTRPG for Hope. So it's TTRPG, the number 4 Hope. That's her Twitter handle. Follow all of her socials there. She does amazing work for this TTRPG community, including myself. We collaborate on many different projects, like I collaborate with many of my Discord members. Fearless, which is your Discord handle, Alyssa, which is your real life handle, Dara, which is your fantasy handle, I think. Tell us about Dara and feel free to plug anything you'd like.
So yes, I play Dara. She's a half-orc blood hunter, not barbarian, which Jason will sometimes call her.
Yeah, I know. It's the
I
half
am
orc
playing her a little bit like that, though.
yeah.
You know, we should really destigmatize half-orcs. I think we're past that kind of racism in this century.
No, well,
But anyway,
my main problem is running 6 games. All my half orcs run together after a while.
I didn't tell you to run 6 games. Mine is better. Anyway, so she is a former slave who is not quite sure how to woo, but is still trying Grayson right now. She is trying to befriend Philip, but isn't sure if Philip likes her too much. She's very passionate, and after discovering that Zephora was also a former slave, is now have some plans she wants to talk to her about. So we'll see how that goes this session.
Yep.
I don't have any games to plug. Be safe, practice safe sex.
That's a good
Otherwise,
plug.
you might have to go see me at the center.
I love it. And her needles are very long. I understand they've increased up to 12 inches now to, increase the likelihood that people will be safe with each other, as they say. Ivar, my squire brother, we are both members of a community called the SCA, the Society of Creative Anachronism. Ivar actually is in 2 of my other games as well on Monday and Tuesday night. Tell us a little bit about Zephora.
Well, I stepped outside my box. I'm playing a female character, Zephora Moonshade. She's a Yuan-Ti, and she's trying to learn about human emotions. She doesn't really understand them, so doing her best to try to understand him. Doesn't really want him, but wants to try to understand him. She's a former slave. She was a food taster, and of course, Yuan-Ti are made to poison, and she was a food taster, so she just let her former master be poisoned and walked away from her slavery and has been on the run for a couple years.
Nice. So with that, let's have a discussion about a couple things, and then we will jump into our recap of our previous session. So for those of you that want to get caught up on Age of Arcanum, we are up to date on our YouTube channel. So down below there somewhere in the Twitch socials, you can find everything you need to know about us and our mission statement and what we do and why we do it. I am a long-term member of the TTRPG community, and I'm a huge fan of it as well. Join our Discord. I am currently in our Discord. I am currently broadcasting out to Twitch from within our Discord, and I choose to do that. I know there are more stable platforms to do it, but I choose to do it because the main mission of our Discord is to help teach you how to run your own games online. And if you enjoy it and you get to the point that you want to run your own show, we'll even help you do that if you choose to. So this is really a teach, learn, and kind of sit back and relax kind of community. And our Discord community is pretty popular. We also have a really fun giveaway on our Discord. We do bring your dice every week. You roll a D1000, and the closest or exact wins a set of dice from Viridian Dice Gaming. Really cool dice choices out there. We will be expanding it to other sources, and we'll also be expanding it to a couple new channels. There's going to be a t-shirt channel, and there's also going to be a miniature channel, whether it's a 3D printed miniature or a mainstream Nulzer's miniature or Cthulhu, Pathfinder. We are trying to encourage as many role-playing games as we can. It's one of the reasons why I'm so excited that Shannon and Dan both play in my games, because they play games that I enjoy. And I think pretty soon our Sunday game, which is a Debtor's Gambit, will be taking a night off to allow Shannon to run her one-shot with Mage the Ascension. I have a really fun character on there that I like to run. And, well, even though his physical body's been blown up, he's been downloaded to the Mystery Library Center so he could come back. And I don't know what I'm going to pick for him to come back as this time. I know Shannon is very
Funny you think
fond.
you have a choice.
Well, I know Shannon's very fond of strippers that go by the name of Bubbles. That's one of her favorites.
Hooray. Nope.
So, real quick, if you go down below, you will see our schedule for our shows. We have shows Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, Friday, and Sunday. The newer show right now, which is lots of fun. Well, they're all lots of fun, but I'm kind of excited about this one because I get to explore one of my favorite campaign background or world backgrounds of Exandria within Wildmont. We have the Debtor's Gambit, which is the founding of the Revelry and the founding of Dark Toe. One of a theme that I've been toying with ever since I started watching season 2 of Critical Role. I really enjoy this world design. I do enjoy Tal'Dorei, but because Wildmont's mostly digital, it's a lot easier for me to work with it because I am a digital storyteller. I'm not a big hard copy. I usually transfer everything in digitally, and it's easier for me to consume. So we are coming to you live from our Discord. We have shows every night. Listen, if you have a Prime out there and you're not subscribed to anything on Twitch with it, do me a favor and subscribe to the TTRPG Academy or the RPG Academy. We still have to update our name in about a week, but if you subscribe to us and follow us, it really helps me build out content. It really helps me do some fun, exciting things, which you're going to see a couple things tonight that'll be a little bit different, I think. I previewed it for Ivar because he got on a little bit early when we were tweaking his camera. So let's go ahead and jump into the recap. And let's get our watchers up to date and let's get our players up to date on the previous session. Now, with the previous session, we had left off with the arrival of a rather infamous air dirigible owned by the Avoste family. The Wraith had tracked down the Espis community that resides on the back of a massive brachiosaur. Our team, surviving an interesting encounter with both themselves and Igor, the raptor wrangler, who was teaching, well, not teaching, we had already done that part, but explaining to them the cost and what he could afford to pay them for their assistance in going out on a raptor hunt and wrangling raptors for orders that need to be filled and delivered to the Femur Valley, a great market area that eventually the local community of Espis will make their way towards once they have gathered up enough raptors. They were tentatively hired, mostly because Zephora, with her death lipstick, perhaps, this is something we'll have to work on, convinced Igor to give her a kiss. He did, and nearly died, which at that point, Gray, they jumped down and began to bring him back, and they put their lips to Igor's lips, and they nearly died. So it would seem that most encounters are self-driven, and this is how this works. As the group kind of recovered from this little bout of shenanigans, they overheard blaring alarm horns from outside. There, Pharaoh was standing, warning about the Wraith getting closer. The team then was ushered down to one of the, what do you call it? One of the
Blowholes.
well, yeah, but it's usually it's utilized for smuggling for the most part. It's
Orifices.
Hole in a dinosaur.
A snot hole.
being led to the blowhole of the massive brachiosaurus that this community lives on. They were ushered down to a community of croakers. These croakers are designed specifically to cohabit and symbiote with the creature and the community in a way to keep it healthy and clean. Through some challenging speaking issues and language issues that were mostly resolved through pantomime and emotional responses, the team began to settle in and search around. I believe it was Harrow and some of the others that had been able to figure out that the croakers were having an issue with something down one of the kind of fleshy tissue-like areas, finding a growth of some sort, a creature that had come into existence
Ugh.
and was feeding off the flesh and interior tissue of the brachiosaur. Brokers, feeling very grateful for the assistance, a couple things had happened. The team had searched through some skeletons that had fallen out, discovering an iron messenger box that appeared to be recent in its use, appeared to be associated to a skeleton that was rather large in size, possibly humanoid of some sort. At the same time, a croaker came and grabbed Harrow, took them over to a stack of metal and vellum-style books made from skins and other metallic ingredients, and picked into the pile, pulled out a very black, shiny, metallic book made of brass paging and vellum inscriptions. It appears to be locked, and on the front of it, it seemed to be one of the missing books of the Ebony Obelisk and the information to a lost city deep into the southern wastes. This book is known to Harrow only through lore and much dug up legend. And where we last left off, a nice string of drool was descending from Harrow's mouth and bloop, onto the ground. What would you guys like to do?
I would like to go to the southern wastes, please. Yeah, I'm just sort of like over there obsessing, like, I can't believe it. I don't understand. I searched so long and so hard, and it was in here of all places. Yes, Gray.
How many dinosaurs did you look in before this one? Have you tried looking in dinosaurs?
Just one, but that wasn't my own choice.
Okay. One in addition to this one?
Were you eaten by a dinosaur, Harrow?
I have
This is the
questions.
second time I have been in a dinosaur against my will, and I shall not comment further.
He was
But I
eaten
have-
by a
but I have
dinosaur.
questions. What, did you go in the wrong end? And that's why you don't want to...
I said no more questions. There's a book here from the ancient world. Don't you understand? It's this could change everything.
But I have so many
What does it say?
I'm so... Okay.
I gingerly, very carefully open the first page.
The book is locked.
Oh, yes, you mentioned that. Well, we've got to do something about that. Just, you there, can you, Zephora, please help or something?
Oh, to unlock the clasp?
Yes.
Well, tell me what the book is first.
Yes, fine. This book, it's the glass obelisk of faith. I cannot know for certain if it is true. It merely matches descriptions I've read from elsewhere. But it supposedly leads to one of the greatest hordes of magics and ancient power that has ever existed. With this in hand, one might be able to navigate the trials necessary and, who knows, render the Avoste family completely irrelevant.
I would like to consult my mistress first.
Wait, do you want to spread the word around? It's
I
dangerous
think-
enough that 4 people know.
And I think she might be able to help us with the translation of those slaver documents.
I have no objection to the slaver documents. Whatever you'd like to do with those, I utterly consent.
Is there... Are you reaching for something, Gray?
This is how they communicate their desire to speak. I do not know why they don't
I
do
think
so.
you can just speak, Gray.
Thank you so much for calling on me. I'm reaching for an answer to a question. Um, so you said how 4 people know about this and that's dangerous, but there's a whole village of people that know about this. Just
About
put
this
that
book?
out there.
You think they knew about the book? It was inside of the cancer monster.
They showed you where it was, though. They were like, "Hey, look at this thing," and you'll love it.
Oh, yes. Well, the croakers, yes, the little frog beasts.
People.
They seemed to be aware of its existence and that it might prove valuable to me, but it's still locked. I don't know if they have any idea what they have.
But just
Then why protect it? if you
factually,
didn't
they know that it exists, and I just okay.
Okay, yes, all right, fine. Like 30 people, 4 of which are relevant to what I'm saying.
Math. It's a real challenge, I assure you.
Why are the rest of them not relevant? Just
It doesn't matter if they know. They gave it to me. It doesn't matter if they know what it was.
okay.
I don't even
So
speak
if
the same
they
language.
weren't around, then less people would know about it.
Yes.
Okay.
So if something was to happen to them, then there would be less people that know.
Yes, but I imagined in the same direction for a moment and then decided not worth the effort. They probably don't understand anyway.
Ah, oh, very well.
It would be a,
Dude, Ivar, you're deadpan. I mean,
it would
chills
be a
went up my
dangerous
back.
expenditure
that was
of bloodshed for very little return.
I will stop my planning on that then.
Yes, I do like the way you work, though. This is working out better than I'd imagined.
Thank you.
Now, listen. I understand that, that Dara, you probably have some plans in mind for those documents of yours.
Oh, I do.
Okay, fine. I'm happy to go on your thing if you go on my thing. It's just very important that we do my thing soon.
Yeah, I mean, why can't we do all of the things?
Yeah.
But what is your thing? Other than opening the book, what do you then plan to do after that?
Use it to find. Listen, the legends are unspecific. I have no idea precisely what this is going to lead me to. For all I know, it is going to be the most efficient possible way to heat your coffee in the early morning. But it is equally possible that this contains a stunning array of magic from all across the entirety of the ancient times, and it's within my grasp. I have the power to reach out and take it. All of us
Very
do,
useful.
really. Yes.
You think there's much about hemocraft?
I don't know. It's entirely possible. That's the point. We don't know what's there, but I would be very upset if somebody else got it.
All right, we find the magic and we fuck up the slavers.
All right, find the magic, fuck up the slavers. Hopefully this could render the slavers trivial.
That would be even more convenient.
All right, so we can do my thing first then.
I suppose. Gray, Zephora, any opinions? Find the magic or fuck the slavers?
I think the
I-
up is important on that.
Don't want
Well,
to
Yeah.
copulate with them, but I would
I
like
make
to
no judgments
play
on whatever
them,
you choose
many
to
of
do with
them,
them once they're defeated.
Thank you.
hear their shrieks and drink their blood.
We could arrange some of that.
Perfect.
Gray, you hear a voice in your head. You and your friends stay there. Seems there's a change of plans. When you hear from me next, go to the Shifting Sands. And then it kind of cuts off briefly and then starts back up again. So I'm on the Wraith, and they're in the process of leaving. I managed to convince its captain that we were, well, just running late. And then it stops. And then another third message. As soon as the wraith is clear and you hear from me, you can come back to the surface and feel free to wander about, but cautious. They came here looking for someone specifically.
Okay.
And you can reply to any of those three if you want to
Okay.
feed her
Cool,
any
cool,
information.
cool. All right, tell me when I hit 25 words. Okay, so what you're saying is we're gonna have to stay down here. Do you have any idea how long we're supposed to stay down here? Do you think it's gonna be like a couple days, a couple hours, weeks? I mean, it's pretty comfortable, but there was this.
But it falls off.
As far as I know, I'm just
Right,
continuing to
go on.
talk.
You actually get 75 words, so you can ramble on because there were three
Woo!
opportunities where she kind of rambled on towards you.
Oh, but I mean, I would be polite and let the woman speak first and then reply because I'm a
Gotcha.
gentleman.
I believe they meant to find someone of Goliath ancestry. Something regarding a messenger box that had to be acquired. They were unsuccessful in finding him. I suspect they might have left some people behind to look for him.
Like I walk like away from Harrow and everybody. Like, be right back. Is this? Should I tell you that we found the box and the person that they were looking for? Is that something that you need to know? Because I'm pretty sure we found the box and the person that they were looking for. But Harrow's gonna be really, really pissed off at me if he knows that I told you. Is this a secret?
I'm not sure if he's alive or dead, but if you have that box, for God's sakes, do not lose track of that box.
What about the contents of the box?
Keep it hidden from now till I report back to you to let you know it's safe to come above ground. Or above
It's not.
Brachiosaurus.
It's his name is Progenitus.
Skin top.
Okay, good to know. I will not tell them that I told you, so don't tell them that I told you that you know that you found out from me.
I like you, Gray. Let's not change that perception.
Okay.
You watch as the spider comes out, kind of natters at you a little bit, smacks onto a piece of tissue with some insects on it, and kind of goes from your shoulder back into the bag.
I walk back over casually, like nothing occurred.
I've been going on this whole time like, and they say that this king from the 32nd century, blah 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 blah.
Dara's picking meat out of her hair.
I'm taking my dagger and digging the dirt out from under my nails.
I realized what you meant because initially I thought you were saying like Dara had like taken a piece of meat and like torn it up so bad that it was in her hair. But now, no, I get it. Yes, it was the crazy monster machine.
She is a lady. Thank you. She has
So-
Very
manners.
polite.
And while this
Deeply so.
conversation is going on, Gray, they come back over to the rest of the group. The four of you are kind of back together again. And just as you're about to kind of continue this conversation, one of the croakers comes over carrying a small ceramic, like transparent, bulbous kind of jar. You can see through it. All of your passive would be high enough to at least see what it is, although you're not sure what it is. There maybe about half a dozen translucent blue and pink slug-like creatures that are kind of twisting and curling around inside of it. They're giving off a very effervescent kind of glow. A shade of light is coming off of it. The croaker kind of waddles over to you, Dara, takes its croaker-like hand and points to a wound on your arm, and then points at the wound and then at the jar. And he kind of pats his chest and then touches your wound.
Okay.
You watch as it unscrews the lid, reaches in, pulls out one of the slugs, sets the jar down on some tissue off to the left. It then takes its finger and kind of cleans the area of the wound, and you watch as the slug gets dropped right onto the wound, and it immediately crawls into the wound. And as it does, you watch as the wound goes, seals right up, and then you could feel the slug kind of dissolve into you as you get 18 hit points back.
Not worth it. Not worth it.
Worth it. So worth it.
And then he goes
Thank
over
you.
to the jar, looks at Harrow and Gray and Sephora.
Guys, you want one of these.
Oh.
It really helped. I feel a little better.
I'll
It's
walk over.
repulsive.
One gets handed to you, Sephora. You kind of get the gist of what it just did.
Okay.
Kind of looking at you, Gray.
Oh, me. Sorry. Okay, well, first of all, I have to know what his name is. Because he's about to sacrifice himself to help me. Okay, his name's... Cool.
Hands it to you. Turns over to you, Harrow. Puts the cork back in the bottle, turns, and kind of waddles away. So if you use it, you get 18 hit points back.
Sweet.
Back
Dara's
to
gonna grab it, shove it in his mouth.
Back in the saddle again. Okay.
So I believe
feel
when
much
you
better.
guys, when all of you descended down here, it was mid-morning, correct? Early morning? The encounter with the creature and this time you spent searching and being down in this organic warren-like area consumed about at least an hour, I would say. But for you, Gray, no response from Pharaoh yet about being clear of the Espis. But it's getting on to late morning as far as you can tell. What would you guys like to do?
Perhaps we can rest until, well, we can leave now, right?
We don't know that. We don't know when we can leave. I don't think Gray has shared with us that they were given any information.
I just want to be anywhere. I'm not going to.
What'd they say?
anymore.
What'd they say when they came? They'd come and get us when the time was. Okay.
Yeah, when we were up there, Pharaoh, before the messages, did say that they would let us know when it was safe.
Okay.
I'd like to study my spells.
Okay, so go ahead for Zephora. You can go ahead and take a short rest as you study your spells. Gray and Harrow and Dara, what are you doing with your time?
I think I'm going through my spells too, but less to actually practice them and more to just distract myself from the fact that I'm inside of a dinosaur.
Okay, you can take a short rest while you do that as well.
Dara wants to get some bonding going with Harrow. So Dara's gonna go over and talk, I guess, kind of connect on how she uses her magic. She's not really a caster, but she does have that, have gone through the Hunter's Bane and can alter things and kind of. So I guess compare notes on that.
Well, it seems a bit crude in some ways. Less precision required, less academic, but I can see how this would provide advantages that my own magic does not.
It was one of the only ones we knew about where it was kept first when I met Zorak. Anyway, that was a long time ago. it was.
Did you manage to steal any knowledge from your captors?
Not about anything that you'd be interested in, no. But I wouldn't have known what to look for. But it was easy to use because we could teach and we could learn and we could go through this process in the dark without any external resources.
Now that is impressive. I will admit that as powerful as I've grown, I don't know that I could do more than lift a teacup without the appropriate measurements and books at hand. I shouldn't say books, like vellum. It's kind of a book still. It's just
it's just made out of vellum. I mean, they're still referred to as
It's
books. It's just what they're made out of is not traditional.
scrolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without the appropriate accoutrement. In any case.
Is it hard to learn?
I was given a bit of a kickstart in my own ability, but since then, yes, it has been very difficult to learn. It's taken up my entire adult life.
Seems it might even drive you mad.
Among other things.
Ooh, straight to the point.
Just to be aware, the darkness stares back and all that nonsense. Get whatever you want out of this, but at some point it'll eat you.
I know. What's the difference in thirst for knowledge eating you, the magic eating you, the rage eating you, the revenge eating you? Something eats us in the end.
Yeah.
Something's literally out here.
Always a bigger lizard, I suppose.
And then Dara's gonna kind of, I guess she's gonna start to tend to her wounds, but as she does, kind of like pull some blood out to make like her sigils that she can put into weapons, and then have it go back in, and then work on like bandaging herself up.
Fair enough.
Kind of be a little show-offy about it,
Oh,
while
of
she and then
course.
take a short rest.
I believe it's called the badass short rest effect, is what that's called.
The badass short rest.
I take a few notes on the process. Like, I may be vastly more concerned with my book, but yeah. Oh, also, towards the end of this short rest, I want to be like, when you're done, Sephora, I really need a shot at this.
A shot?
I want you to open the book.
I know you do.
Are you intending on not complying?
The Forrest got
Just
like
a
the
moment,
best
Dre.
poker face.
Just a moment, Dre. Do you intend to not open the book?
Oh, I'm going to open it. Haro, please.
And when will you open it?
Well, it's magic, correct?
I don't know if the pages detect magic.
As you cast, they pulse a kind of reddish hue and a blackish kind of effervescence.
Yes, the book itself is also magic.
Yes, Gray.
Yes, Gray.
I
Yes.
was waiting for Harrow to call at me.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
Gray.
Yeah, that would be a lot hotter.
Gray wants to say something.
Gray, go on.
Thank you so much. My arm was starting to go numb. I could try. I'm not good at it, but it sounds like it's very important to you. And if somebody's being slippery
If it's
about it.
important, then we should unlock it correctly and not hurry through things that can explode and kill us or turn us into things or melt us.
I'm not well suited to treating wounds. We shouldn't risk your own physical well-being at the moment, Gray.
I have no problem in opening the book. I'm very curious what it's going to do for you.
Are you trying to tell them they can't make their own choices?
I'm trying to tell them that if something were to happen to them because they opened this book and exploded, we've lost our asset for bringing them back, that being them. You could bring back this one if she exploded.
That probably hurts.
Oh,
Probably
yes,
not
I'm sure
the
it
best
does.
thing to have happen to you. I'm
You
sure
wouldn't
you
know
could
the difference if you're dead, though.
bring me back, but
Look,
I've had enough pain. I don't want any more that I don't
correct. I don't
need
want
to
any more
have.
pain either. Why would you wait?
So that the book can be examined to make sure that it's not going to hurt me when I open it.
But you can do that on your own without anyone else.
I can do that for physical traps, for the machinations of meat creatures, but I can't look at it and see if it's magically glyphed.
I can tell you where they are.
Well, you take care of the magic part, and I'll take care of the rest.
I can't dispel yet. Gray,
I can also find the things. I have to take a nap before I can dispel them, but I'm good at identifying things too. I just want to help. I want me back, and I feel guilty, and I want to help. So that's just who I am as a person.
your aid may be required. We'll see.
It generally is.
We'll examine it outside of the dinosaur. But I don't want to bring anybody else in.
Out of context quotes.
Let's get outside of this dinosaur before we discuss anything further.
No, Gray, did you want to do anything with your downtime? Because I'm giving you guys
Yeah.
all a short rest, essentially, because some time has to pass before Gray will get the all clear.
Yeah, for my short rest, I'm not gonna waste time studying spells because who needs to do that? Me also, but I am going to continue to craft with druid craft as I often do.
Yep.
But let's see what do I want to make this time. I have chanclas. Can I work on a harness for Philip
Mhm.
and a leash so
Absolutely.
that I can have him out of his cage? Hell yeah!
And I'll say your druid or what kind of craft do you call it when you?
Is druid craft.
Yeah,
it's a
your
cantrip.
druid craft is getting better and easier for you to accomplish because you've done this for Philip a couple of times now. I'll say without even needing to roll, you assemble the harness because you already rolled pretty well for the legging piece.
Chanclas.
The chanclas and the harness and everything else. You just kind of use some sinew and skin, kind of create the harness, and yeah, you do a pretty good job during your short rest to do that.
Next short rest, it's armor, y'all. I'm gonna armor the spider, put him on a leash. He's gonna be a weapon. Get ready.
And with
I
that,
got you.
late morning turns into early afternoon. At some point, Gray, you get Pharaoh's message. I believe we are far away now. You and your friends can come out. They are definitely not looking for you. They're looking for someone that goes by the name of Ashrin.
Ashrin, okay. Got it.
Does anybody who takes better notes than me know that name?
I was about to say, hey, DM, how do you spell that name? Like how it sounds?
Ashreen. Ashrin.
Okay. Now that doesn't immediately bring anything to mind for me, but I do also have to say sometimes a bunch of names come at us really fast. Does the name ring a bell for Gray at all?
No,
Okay,
it does
cool.
not.
Yeah, that's
We
not
got-
a name.
we-
I'd
we
wear
got, like,
now.
Oh,
30
he might be the
names.
digested one.
One.
This might be Stomach Man.
Or stomach man. Should we bring the should Gray bring the skeleton back and ask him this? No, we can't ask him. Never mind.
Yeah,
Not yet,
We
we
but
can't have skeletons with brains yet.
We can keep
We
the
will.
skeleton
No,
until Gray's able to ask.
not strictly true. If you put a brain in anything, it has a brain now. It just
It's
might not
true.
be
We could put many
functional.
brains in things technically.
Yeah, we
It'd
could,
still
we
be
could
dead
stack
brain
'em up.
though.
That's how
Just-
you make super
We
intelligent.
could
beings, right?
we just fill a bag with brains.
That
I
would
think
get
that's how you make it
liquidy
an
really
apple brain.
quickly.
Yeah, that's or at least a 60s horror movie monster.
And then
Have
you
you
receive
brain
a
This Thursday, bag of brains.
Gray, you receive a follow-up message from Pharaoh. Oh, by the way, there is a gentleman, a little halfling that goes by the name of Nobbins. He runs the local tinker shop. You could possibly deliver the box to him. And, well, I put some funds on your account there. Feel free to do some shopping.
Yep, we will definitely bring him the box. That'll be no issue at all whatsoever. It's perfectly fine. I say with my 0 perception.
And no one taking my book.
So the croakers lead you back to the pulley system that takes you back to the surface of the Brachiosaurus and back into the community of Espis. All of you can see way off in the distance the retreating form of the massive dirigible making its way kind of a northeasterly route.
I can let the dog out.
The community itself kind of
Who?
coming back to life with a sigh of relief as the wraith has left, and you're back in the Espis community. There's a gnat in here. Gnat.
All right. Harrow is going to breathe a gigantic sigh of relief to be outside of a giant reptile for the first time in a while. Okay. Great. And what time about is this? Of
It's
day?
afternoon at this point.
All right.
Were we gonna
Okay.
go back to the shop? Sorry, what's her name?
I don't know that I have any interest in letting anyone see the book, but we can go near there if you so choose. If there's anything else that others need to accomplish.
What was the tinker's name again?
That name that I haven't told you about at all yet? Yeah.
Oh, I know. I'm just taking notes.
Nobbins. Knobbins. Nobbins.
Nobbins. That is a truly
know.
genius name. I'm all about Nobbins.
All right.
So what are you guys doing?
No, but Zephora, your mistress's name. What was her name?
Mistress Greenbottle?
Green Bottle. That was a corrupt bottle somebody. Okay. But Harrow, you didn't want to show anybody the book.
Yeah, I would prefer that nobody know that Harrow has this. If it doesn't go beyond this group and a bunch of things that can't meaningfully communicate with most humanoids, we're okay. But Harrow's just kind of like very introspective and lost in his own thing right now, so he's just kind of following along.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know that Dara has any specific goals either with the day. I guess so she'd kind of wander around, see what needs to be done, talk.
I
Oh,
mean,
she
I could
does
magic
that.
us up a
Yeah.
tower if we want. I've got that power still.
Okay, so where are we going with this item that we have procured? Hero, what's the plan?
Legend says in the southern wastes, but I can't get an exact location till it's open. If I
Got it,
sweep
and-
it to find the magic, then I can show where any potentially hazardous magical rooms might be. And from there, perhaps you can dispel them. The difficult thing would be ascertaining for certain that we're not removing some magical properties of the book that might be necessary for its intended purpose. Who knows? Maybe there are no words in it. Maybe there are magical glyphs within that are supposed to lead one to the treasures without the need for language. It's impossible to know for certain. But
It's a bit
Um,
dizzying.
research beckons. Perhaps Sephora and I should begin pouring this over, if she is willing, and the two of you can accomplish any tasks you have in the meanwhile. And if we have need of your ability to dispel Gray, we'll call upon you when you wake. Right.
Sounds like a plan to me. Harrow, can I borrow you for a second?
Consider me borrowed. I start walking over.
So, so perhaps, maybe there might be somebody potentially interested in the box or something. Maybe, kind of.
Yes, I'm sure thousands of people. Are you talking about someone more specific?
Sorry, have to note. Somebody said that there's no way that little dog would be able to knock down that gate. Fully just did. Anyway, yep, just knocked it out.
He's a little
Oh,
cannonball
whatever.
when he wants to be.
He's gone now. That's fine. He really, really wanted to go see Shaggy. So
Oh, buddy.
I know. Anyway, but yes, yeah, I'm sure thousands of people are. But what if we knew one of those people?
A name.
They have a name. Yep.
What is it?
I don't know if I want to tell you. I don't.
Gray, I need to know this. You know I need to know this.
Oh God. Okay, that's very intimidating, and I'm very small.
First of all, you could crush me with one hand and I could melt your brains, so it all depends on who got the first swing in, and I'm not going to kill you. I'm just asking, what's the bloody name?
I feel like you know things way worse than killing people. I feel like.
I could remove little parts if I had to.
Okay, gross. Pharaoh might know about the box.
As in, knows that I have it?
He might know that it like exists or something.
Okay. Except it doesn't, because none of us have ever seen it or know where it might be.
I didn't say you had it.
Gray.
Pharaoh.
Pharaoh knows that someone has it.
Pharaoh said that the people that we're trying to avoid were here looking for that guy specifically that we found in the creature and whose bones they have right now. I might have mentioned that we found it. So, like, look,
Where is Pharaoh?
I don't have a Pharaoh like direction. Like,
Oh, you
in
just
the
shared
thing?
so much. I assumed that you might know precisely where they are. Did you exchange any other important details, like my greatest weakness or a precise
I
place
knew
to stab
that,
me in the heart?
I would not have shared that. But that's not something you would share with me because you're a smart person. So what had happened was, yeah, she said that people were looking for it, and I was like, okay, well, but maybe we might have found it, maybe we might have found the corpse of the guy, maybe, kind of, maybe. And also, I don't know. I knew that they were looking for him, and they said they couldn't find him, and I was afraid that they were gonna just kind of start ripping up that village down there and killing all of those innocent bystanders. I, uh, you
Mm.
look like that doesn't matter to you at all. You did call them beasts before, which is weird when they're definitely people with an intelligence.
I wasn't
Intelligence.
impugning their intelligence. They're just rather bestial.
Mm-hmm.
They have beast traits. They're like frogs.
Okay, how does one define a beast trait?
I don't. Do you have a thing like an animal? I don't know. I
Yeah,
suppose I'm a bit
yeah.
like. Do monkeys exist? Do gorillas exist?
Not really, no.
See, nothing is like humans.
Well,
What did we come from? I don't know.
I mean, you do know about some. There are the Thrakeen. You know about them. They are insect humanoid crossovers that, for the longest time, have always been referred to as insectoid from a colloquial perspective, but they exhibit extremely human behavior or humanoid behavior.
Mm-hmm. I'd still probably think of them as being like ants, but different. Because Harrow's not a nice person.
Fair enough.
All right. Okay. I'm glad that the things that were nice enough to help me out are not all going to die horrible deaths. I'm happy about that.
You really look at.
This is the sort of thing where if it fell into the wrong hands, maybe everyone dies horrible deaths.
But to circle back to the question that I asked.
Okay, state it again. I'm sorry. I've gotten a bit lost in blind rage.
Like me? Yeah. It does be like that. How does one define a beast trait that a person would possess?
A trait similar to a well-known animal in some regard.
I look
Listening
back
to
at the
this
other half
conversation.
of our party.
No, you and Dar are kind of off to the side, like just kind of taking in the surroundings. Ray and Harrow have moved further away. They're not loud. They're being kind of undertoned in their discussion, but every now and then there is kind of a bit of spike of energy coming from Harrow, like the kind of like a verbal. Like,
You did what?
Yeah.
Dar wants to take this time to talk to Zephora while they're talking.
Okay.
We have the slave papers. This could help us figure out their plans, set them apart. We can take them down.
Yes,
Would you want to help do that?
of course. It would bring me pleasure. And I believe Mr. Greenbottle could help us with the translations to those documents. I've look at them and I can't make any sense of them.
Okay, that'd be the first step. We need to understand them. I know you have a long history with her. It's just hard for us to trust people. You can understand. It's hard for anybody to trust anybody. So forgive Harrow's hesitation to reveal the book.
Well, even people in our traveling companions now. Gray's gonna stab one of us, probably to death. That dagger she carries is very dangerous.
It is. I've tried to talk to them about it. I know,
And
and
of
that's
course,
not them. That's not who
of
they
them,
are. It has this sort of control factor.
Yes, it does. So it's interesting. I want to see how that plays out. but we'll see.
Would you try to get it away from her? Get her away from them?
Well, she's a slave right now. She's
For their own good, I just don't see any good coming of this. Maybe you should.
well. I'll think about it. I am kind of interested in how that going to play out, and who knows? It could be very interesting. She has to, I think, decide that she doesn't want to be a slave to a inanimate object.
I don't think they know they're a slave to the object. I don't think they think it's bad at all. That's its control.
I could goad her. That's always fun.
No, that could end up in somebody dying. We're trying to avoid the death business. Specifically theirs.
Oh yes, I don't want to kill
kind
her.
of like them.
I
Like to not die.
I like Gray. She was one of the first people that said that I could be in your group.
Yes, they are very welcoming. And I'm very glad you joined our group as well.
I know from Mistress Greenbottle that dagger is very, very dangerous.
They like to live
Yes,
it's
one
dangerous.
another. So we'll see what happens.
Just please, can you
It's that creepy
promise me that if somebody's going to die that we care about, we'll try to prevent that?
Well, yes, of course.
Okay.
I haven't seen anybody die, especially Harrow. I like the way he thinks.
He does do a lot of thinking.
Yes.
Remind us to tell you one time about how he did in the Colosseum as well.
He does like the book too. Very obsessed.
Are you going to help him open it?
Yes, but I'm not going to blow myself up trying. Maybe I will if Harrow does it with me. If his face is right there by the book as I manipulate the lock with my picks. Just so he knows how it feels to unlock something that you're not quite sure what's going to happen. It's very easy to do when you're standing 20 feet away from the person who's unlocking it.
Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me while I open a bottle of champagne and light some candles, please.
But it's
It sounds like you're just trying to be close to Harrow there.
lock.
Sounds like you're might be covering and using this as an excuse just to be close to Harrow.
A human? A meat creature?
Not all humans are bad.
Oh no, I don't think he's. Well,
Hashtag not all humans.
from the conversations I've had with him, I would think that the human term "bad" is probably right on the mark for Harrow. But
Oh, I forget. You're right. By the literal sense, we're all pretty bad people. You have a point. Except Gray, who's delightful and we love them.
All of you watch in your separate conversations. Fluttering lesser drakes kind of land, carrying freshly netted raptors to the platform just beyond the center quarter that you're standing in. You can hear them all land, the raucous kind of noise that they make. You then, of course, begin to feel the familiar sound of the great beast underneath your feet shift and slightly turn.
all right.
Whoa.
Well, I'm for finding out about those slavers and what they're doing and setting little traps for them.
We'll have a lot of time to plan while we're figuring out this magic book.
Yes.
Arrow, by the way, did you need help identifying the stuff on the books? Do you want help with that, or?
Yes, but I think that your energies might be better spent resting up and preparing in case your help is needed on the back end of this.
I mean, that wouldn't stop me from being able to heal somebody if they needed it. I'm very multi-talented hero. I really wouldn't even like waste anything.
In
Like,
everywhere area but subtlety, I find you extremely proficient. Don't worry. We're just going to have to deal with this mess somehow.
Are you saying that I'm not?
I think Brandon Z
Uh,
just coined a great hashtag bipeds. That's
Not all bipeds.
yeah, not all bipeds. That's
Not all
pretty
bipeds.
cool. That's awesome.
I can be sneaky with my words and my actions. I don't know what you're talking about.
You are the most sincere being, and I don't mean that as a compliment, that I have ever met.
That was almost really nice. We're getting there. One day we'll figure out just a compliment and not a compliment. You always do this thing where you sandwich them. It's like asshole, really nice, douchebag. Like you can have the feeling of the sandwich. It's the best part. You don't have to like have the.
You know,
You're right. I should have very simple feelings when you're helping me achieve my dream and also maybe taking it away from me.
Yes, not complicated at all. I'm not taking anything from you. Just
No.
letting somebody know that we found a thing.
Look,
Gray, give me a charisma save, please.
Hell yeah.
because I'm melting your brain.
21.
Your hand absentmindedly drifts to your dagger while you're having this conversation. There is a nattering kind of voice in the back of your head. This is very annoying. We should deal with it. We should take it for ourselves and see what it does. And then, who knows?
But he's just in my head. He's smarter than me, though. I think you gotta put people in positions where they can do the most with their own abilities.
Your intelligence is sheathed at your hip. That is all you need.
Okay, so intelligence needs to be in your brain for it to work. And I'm definitely doing this like
Take 4 points of psychic damage, halved, because you did save.
okay.
Conversation with this thing is painful.
That's
Very
fine.
painful.
Is this an effect I'm able to witness?
What's your passive?
9.
I mean, unless you want to try to make an insight check. I mean, they are definitely physically, like, they are responding to something or making gestures. I mean, feel free to make an insight check, see if you pick up on anything.
I think, if I'm being honest, Harrow is being a little bit like laser focused on a thing. So I don't know that he'd quite catch it from Gray yet. His people skills are not that refined. But if they stopped talking quite as much, he'd be like, do you have any further input?
Right. So what was I saying? Something about being very sneaky and subtle and saving a village maybe and offering you help, and we're good. So cool. Unless I'm just saying I can do it for free. I can do that and still bring you back to life if you die. I just off.
Just be on standby. I'm going to begin searching for runes and pull Sephora aside.
Okay.
You'd be ready to help if I need it.
Okay. Where do I stand? 'Cause I'm standby.
As I go off to the side, point my fingers at an open space on the dinosaur, and woof, a tower up.
Okay.
Let me make sure I spend that spell. All right. And I'm going to go inside with me. Zafora, I'm going to begin studying whenever you're ready.
You're going to study what?
The book. I'm going to be scanning. I'm going to be scanning it for magic.
Oh, you're going to look for traps, magical traps.
Yes, it's possible that it's complex, but who knows? Maybe we'll be able to get it in the next few minutes. Regardless of
Very
other
well.
complications.
Harrow, as you summon the magic, calling the others over, you step your foot through the magical threshold. You watch as the spell dissolves away. You feel a heat come from the book.
Hello?
No response.
All right, this is interesting. Gray, can you summon up any sort of small illusions or such? Or, other-
yeah. I can't, look, I'll be honest with you, I can't do a tower. That's...
No. I'm looking for something
Okay.
small that won't expend much of your resources.
Okay, I try to make a little rose.
Comes into existence.
May I? I take the rose and I put it on the book.
The minute you touch it, dissolves.
Okay. Is it
Having a
your
problem, Hara?
hands?
Not necessarily.
Harrow, give me a con save, please.
Let's see. 14 plus... -1. 13.
Take 11 points of psychic damage.
Ah!
You feel the book actually drain from you.
Oh.
Something the matter, Hara?
Yes. Something is the matter.
What's the matter?
Oh, it's the damn book. I hit it with some more magic, and it didn't like it. So it decided to take a little something back.
Oh, so it is and does have a form of a trap on it then.
Yes, of some kind. It didn't react to being scanned for magic, but interacting with magic upon it summons some rather unsavory side effects. It appears that whatever disarming is done would either have to be a dispel or through physical means. And the dispel might create some unpleasant reactions itself.
Once
And
again,
physical means.
my mistress could be of service. I mean, she knows about that horrible dagger that Gray has, and she gave that back to her. I'm sure she could look at the book and find out what's wrong with it and perhaps help us with it.
I don't distrust your mistress, for the record. That's not what I'm doing. I distrust those who might come with hot irons, prying for information.
Very well. You let me know what you want to do.
That said,
It's only an option. I give it to you as an option.
we need a safe laboratory, and I cannot summon one. Fine. In this case, there are greater risks, but potentially also greater benefit. We'll go.
Very well.
I could try to poke it with my rapier.
Is your rapier magic?
It can be, but it's not at its base.
I'd be careful, even if it could summon something in there, it might melt the
Don't
metal.
want to hurt it.
warp it.
I want to find out what's in it.
Yes.
So we'll go to Mistress Greenbottle.
Is that the plan?
Yes.
Look, I understand what we're going for. I still think it would be a good idea if I tried to identify, like, at least the lock. Like, maybe it gets angry at me and punches me in the throat like it just did to Hero, but
It's Harrow's book or your book?
Heroes.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Whatever he'd like to do. I'm not trying to pressure anyone to doing anything.
It makes sense for us to go talk to somebody who might have more knowledge of what these cursed or trapped things
For
are.
instance, she knew all about your dagger, Gray. She knows that it can't wait to be thrust into a heart, to feel the blood rush all over it, to feel the soul being sucked into it.
Dara's on standby for anything crazy happening.
But she gave it back to you, so see? It's whatever you'd like.
Okay, is that not the purpose of, like, every dagger, to stab things?
Oh, well, ask your master.
What?
Ask your master. It's right there in the sheath at your hip.
Gray thinks really hard about if they have a master.
Give me a charisma save, Gray.
Okay. Oh, 7.
Without even controlling yourself, you feel your hand drop to the dagger, comes out of the sheath. It's at Zephora's neck so fast that Dara and Harrow didn't even see it move. The voice in your head screams in anticipation. The tip of the dagger at the very edge of the skin, a small, thin trail of blood, just tiniest prick of blood dripping down Sephora's neck. And the heat in the pommel of the dagger is almost irresistible. Take 12 points of psychic damage, please.
Oh, see, Dara? What did I tell you?
Dara,
Barely control it.
when Dara notices Gray doing this, and there's finally in that second after, and the slow reaction, Dara's immediate reaction is going to come over there, forcefully but gently as she can, grab Gray, and bend her arm around and make her drop the dagger.
She's not at 100% control, so it's going to be a contest. Go ahead and give me athletics or acrobatics. Gray, athletics or acrobatics. It's up to you two.
Ooh. You better have a good one. That is a 24 for athletics.
Okay, well, technically, you still beat me with a natural 20.
Describe for me, Dara, how you...
Well, that's what it would be. I would, because I'm prepared for this, because I know Zephora's trying to goad them. And so as soon as I notice, even though it's already at Zephora's throat, I would go kind of come up behind, since I'm a lot taller, grab their wrist, and then kind of bend their arm around and squeeze and force them to drop the dagger.
Okay.
And then my next intention would be to then go pick the dagger up if Harrow didn't jump in or Zephora didn't try to grab it at that point in
So,
time.
Zephora, you watch as Dara immediately swings up behind Gray. Dara grabs them by the wrist, forcing the arm back behind their back. The dagger clatters to the ground.
Don't touch it.
And as it clatters to the ground, Dara, the physical heat that you can feel between you and Gray intensifies briefly, in the sense that when the dagger falls from their hand and onto the ground, you notice the wrist was ice cold and now has warmth again. The dagger clatters to the ground. Zephora screams out, "Don't touch it."
Dara's gonna notice this, and she's gonna be like kind of angry and a little riled up, but then notice that feel and kind of soften up, and then just take Gray's other hand and then just warm them up.
For you, Gray, it's like a veil lifting. That strange kind of sense of loss of control. They feel it come back. You feel the warm hand of Dara around your wrist. Intensely concerned, but respectfully so.
What's it feel like to be freed from slavery?
All right, that's a little aggressive. To be fair, you did insult it. To be fair.
I insulted it. A dagger, an inanimate object.
I wouldn't go with inanimate if I was you.
Mm.
Arrow, what are you doing while this is going on?
I am racking the history of Arcanum in my brain to try and come up with any explanations that might account for what I'm perceiving. That's two natural 14s I've rolled in a row. So 22 on my history of the arcane.
Cursed objects are not unfamiliar to you. They come in many shapes and forms. They come in ways that either cause the individual to lose control or have a lack of self-control. Sometimes they're sentient, sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's a false sentience, maybe possibly some nefarious entity using it as a conduit between two places of existence. The fact that this dagger came from Lord Arcanum's vault, at the very least, this dagger could be over 2,000 years old, as far as you can tell, maybe even older. The fact that it was in his vault tells you that it was either put there because it was dangerous, or perhaps put there purposely to be found as well, because who in their right mind wouldn't destroy such an item? But the blade surface, the pommel, everything about it screams a very finely crafted blade, almost too finely crafted, almost purposely crafted to the point of perfection to attract the eye and to attract someone to it with the intent of performing some kind of devious interaction. Watching Gray's transposed kind of interaction with Dara and Zephora, it harbors some concern to you. But some things can be mastered. Some things can be controlled.
I think that it is entirely possible that you have been under the influence of a cat, overwhelming your senses, stepping on your keyboard, and potentially
Flaunting its
ruining
backside
your
in your
mic
face.
forever.
Cat attack. Cat attack.
Sorry, Sif and Machete were about to start a fight. So, anyway. What did you just say?
I was riffing.
Yeah, he was way riffing.
I think it is entirely possible that you have been under the influence of a curse since you've been holding that dagger. That doesn't necessarily mean that the power of the dagger shouldn't still be considered, but it has obviously affected you. You'd have never pulled a knife on someone before, at least not someone who wasn't threatening harm.
Okay, well, so it could still be powerful and useful.
Yes, it could, but I don't
Okay,
believe we
hear
should
me
go
out.
about playing with it
me
before we understand the risks.
All right, first of all, you're not one to talk. Secondly,
I was just mitigating risk. I was about to go into my tower and get rid of the risk.
get rid of. Minimize. Never get rid of. Minimize. Anyway, we have things at our disposal to be able to get rid of curses and dispel things and identify things. I'm just saying maybe we don't throw it off the back of Progenitus yet, because it could still turn out to be useful
Did-
to people that can stab
did-
things
Did Lady Greenbottle give me any information on that dagger? I know she told me it was cursed and it was very dangerous, but
I mean, she gave you some basic information about it, but I think the most important thing she stated to you is that choice has to be Gray's. She's had it long enough now, or they've had it long enough now, that Greenbottle definitely persisted on the point that they have to make the choice.
very well. You've had that dagger for a very long time. So it's up to you. Do you put the rest of us at risk and try to master it, or
Okay. Well,
break free from its control?
Right. We're talking about mitigating risks and all of that, right?
Oh, I don't need to hear a diatribe about it. You just
Okay.
need to pick.
I'm trying to explain my choices. Or do you just want a straight answer?
That usually works for me.
All right.
Do you want to keep it, or do you want not to want to keep it? It's a yes or no.
Yes, I would like to keep it.
No.
But
All
there's
right.
about like 12 things other than that that make that sound like a less crazy idea. If you would like to hear.
I would like to know
No.
why, because right now I don't know that that's a great idea.
So, it's clearly a very powerful magical item, and clearly those things are hard to get your hands on.
And a
as we have
synopsis of the
noticed.
scene as the four of you are having this conversation. Dara, you've kind of released Gray a bit, because they are kind of back under control. Lying on the ground is this dagger. Four of you are having a conversation around this dagger.
I want to put my foot on the dagger when I say right now it's not sounding like a good idea
Okay.
before they start explaining.
Okay.
So, I have some abilities that could mitigate the risk here. Not remove it completely, of course, but I could remove curses. I can dispel magic. I can identify exactly what it is and hopefully try to ascertain the nature of the curse. It could still be powerful even when it isn't mind controlling, is all I'm saying. It's very
Well, I
powerful
think you
and rare thing
probably
to
should have done that beforehand. I think my mistress would have been able to do that had she had the power to.
Okay.
Because she has not, would lead me to believe that it's beyond her capabilities, and she's very powerful.
Maybe she didn't care to? Can't she see, like, the future? Maybe she knew that she shouldn't or something?
Or maybe
Who knows?
since it was controlling you, do you think that makes a difference? Like if it's bonded with somebody, we can't do anything about it? I'm not sure how those magics work.
It is my vote that we keep it and investigate it and not wield it until we have stronger mitigating factors.
That would
I'll take like a piece of like raptor leather and like pick it up with it and then wrap it up. And then I'm not saying I want to carry it. Does anybody feel strongly about it?
Gray, give me a charisma save, please.
I knew that was coming. 5.
Gray, give me a sleight of
God.
hand check, and
Oh no.
Dara, give me a deck save.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. Hopefully you're not better at sleight of hand.
Oh, I'm awful at this.
Okay. That is a dirty 20.
Okay.
It's 22.
Grace,
Oh.
Grace snatches it from your hand Right, you have it back. You feel the energy kind of pulse through the raptor skin, and you feel incredibly relieved. And you hear a voice in your head. We'll have to take care of that one later. For now, we drink later.
Gray's badly wounded, right?
Less so since our short rest, but still not great.
I'm gonna see all that happen.
Well, I guess you
And-
made a choice.
I'm going to see all of that happen, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cast sleep at 3rd level.
Okay. Point of clarification. Did they all see me snatch it?
Oh yeah, because you're
Oh.
standing
Okay.
around. Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
I thought the sleight of hand was to try to not be seen. But
no,
yes.
it's just more of a straight contest because you are thinking in your mind with that kind of possession that you're not going to be seen when clearly you're going to be. So you're snatching it. That's why I had Dara make a save.
Got it. Okay, cool.
I was
Okay,
not
let me-
expecting you to snatch it out of my hand. I feel a little salty about that, actually.
Okay, so
Sorry.
let's see. How many D8 is it level 1? How many D8 is sleep at level 1? I'm not seeing.
And as
I'm
always,
looking at
I think it's just a
5.
save.
It was
No,
5
it's not.
D8s, and now it is
It's in chat.
9 D8s.
it's in chat.
Oh.
In Discord, I put it there for you.
Thank you.
Yep, yep,
Thank
yep.
you. I was looking at it on my thing. All
And
right.
for those of you that play, and want to come play on our Discord, we do have the Avre bot. So for Dan, I just did exclamation spell sleep. And that brought up all the information for him to be able to look at.
Okay, so 9 D8s. I'm just going to roll this at once on my computer to
Okay.
save time.
Go for it.
All right. Do you have less than 35 HP left, Gray?
No.
Now, Harold, are you purposely trying to not be seen doing it, or are you okay with them seeing you?
I'm okay with them seeing this. I'm just like,
Ray,
no,
give
I'm
me an
dealing with
Arcana check, please.
Okay. Would Harrow know that he can't put me to sleep?
No,
Because he knows
probably
magic?
not. I mean,
Okay.
they know, Harold knows a lot about the world, but not necessarily enough information about lineages to realize that you're pretty much immune to sleep.
All right, let's get some black dice up in this business.
See, Dara, I
guys.
told you it was
It's
gonna get exciting.
Spicy.
There's like a little
I knew
trickle of
that-
saliva in Sephora's corner of
knew
her mouth.
No, risky.
What am I rolling?
Good question. Arcana, please.
21.
You recognize Harrow just tried to cast a spell, and you recognize it as a sleep spell.
Gray, put it down.
Harrow. Okay. You're very smart, but maybe I should tell you that you can't put me to sleep because I'm not a human person.
Your kind has that then. Well, I'll keep that in mind for the future. In the meanwhile, set the dagger down.
Look, okay, here's my logic. If I'm already cursed, then I'm already cursed. If
She's
I
not gonna do it, Haro.
don't, you would get cursed, and this would just get worse.
I wasn't suggesting any of us wield it. I'm suggesting we keep it tight under wraps and away from any of our skin.
I was literally trying to keep it under wraps, and somebody took it.
Yes, that's what
Let me
I'm
glare a
experiencing.
little bit at
frustration
Grayson.
about.
Gray, give me a charisma save again, please.
Oh, good. You love.
That's the last time she's gonna put a dagger at my throat, but we'll see what happens now.
They.
Oh, thank you.
21.
You hear the voice kind of drift down inside of your head, to, like almost like it's drifting away from you purposely. Okay. Put me away. Make the agreements. We'll drink later.
I don't know. I also don't want you guys to get hurt. And in case you haven't noticed, it has hurt me a bunch, and obviously attempted to hurt you as well. Obviously, I don't want the rest of you to get cursed, and then we just play hot potato with a cursed dagger, and I'm cursed, and then Dara gets it, and Dara's cursed, and we get it from Dara, and
Yes, I understand. Which is why no one is going to have it for now, until we can better mitigate this.
got it.
Okay, put it down.
I attempt to put it down.
It allows you to put it away. Does not allow you to put it down, but it allows you to put it away.
I have a feeling that the safest person to actually oversee its security for now might be Dara. The person most physically able to defend most things, as well as, from what I can tell, the most disturbed with this particular item.
Will you let me, Gray? I'm gonna hold out my hand. I'm not gonna fight you for it this time.
Your charisma save is high enough. You have free will at this point.
For the record, I didn't try to fight you for it. Just for the record.
I believe
Didn't
you.
accuse you of it.
Okay. And I tried to
Thank you.
hand Dara the dagger.
Dara, the dagger's placed in your hand by Gray. They put it
Okay.
right into your hand.
Cool. And I'm gonna tuck it away, and I'm gonna just kind of try to convey a look of I'm doing this because I care, not because I'm trying to like be a jerkhead and look at them.
Fair enough.
All right. That was a very tense moment, and I just wasted some very powerful magic on something utterly fruitless. We'll deal with this very soon. It might even become more urgent than the most significant magical find of the century. But,
Yes, back to the book. Let's take care of that.
all right. Don't worry, Gray. I don't think that this changes anything. You're still an extremely valuable resource and companion for our group. But should this thing exert any more influence over you, we may need to take sterner measures. Go on.
A, I wasn't worried about my position in the group until you pointed it out. Now I'm worried. B, you should know that you also can't charm me, because the sleep thing came up, and just in case, you should know that.
This is very valuable information. Thank you.
Now it's the part where you tell me about your weaknesses, so if you get cursed, we know how to deal with it.
I'm a
Who knows
human.
what
If
that-
you stab us or set us on fire, we're very unhappy with it.
Who knows what that book's going to do to him?
Perhaps. Be prepared to restrain me, I suppose, if it gets too out of hand. I already have at least one thing rattling around in here that gives me some pause, as I think to myself, give or take a few.
I was gonna like crack her fingers and look at you and raise an eyebrow and then just wink.
As I pat the part of my pack where the stone was. All right, let's get to your mistress then.
Very well. So we'll go to Mr. Greenbottles.
Drifting from the front quarter to the center quarter of the beast of the SB, community. You find yourselves traversing towards the hindquarters, near the tail section, where some of the more dilapidated and somewhat hodgepodge housing is. There's the familiar path that all four of you follow. You find your way into the section where the small hovels are slightly elevated, slightly attached, some hanging, some kind of in all manner of appearance hanging off of this creature. The green bottle hovel, the curtain is, the hemp-like curtain is pulled aside, and you guys are standing there in front of Green Bottle's little alchemy hovel.
Whatever I normally do when I go in, I'll enter.
Okay, you enter first. Anybody else following?
I'll follow behind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Gray?
I'll hesitate for a second, but I'll go.
Okay. One by one, entering into Green Bottle's abode. There's that familiar musky scent of herbs, spices, and the ever familiar scent that makes up an alchemy lab. The burbling sounds in the background as well. Stepping inside, you can see Green Bottle is hovering over a series of books. Well, vellum and metallic books, as well as vellum style of scrolls. He seems to be mixing up concoctions, pouring them onto things, working. You watch as a puff kind of comes off the steel work surface that he's currently working on. She looks up. She's got a large kind of winding gear eye in front. She kind of lifts it off to the side. Oh, well, I wasn't expecting you to be back so soon, Zephora. Is everything okay? Are you and your friends all right?
As all right as we can be at this moment, but
Oh,
I was wondering if you could look at a few things for us.
I'll do my best. If it's not alchemy, it may not be my specialty, girl. You know this.
Well, someone might know, but we'll see if you know. There's this book that Taro has. He'd like to know more about it.
I can certainly try. Young Harrow, may I see this book?
If you are extraordinarily careful.
I will try to be. And she reaches across. But interesting.
The
She's-
one thing I suggest, do not cast any magic directly upon it, nor touch anything magical directly to it.
You already reveal one of its protections then. She sets it onto the steel table. She whirs the eyepiece back in front. It whirs and grinds, makes a noise. You watch as she moves her hand across it, and a series of glyphs and wards kind of pop into existence across the latch.
I just look at Haro.
I never believed that she
That's
wouldn't be
why
good
we're-
at doing this.
That's why I'm patient about things I try to pick or unlock.
But dear, mind your manners. Remember, we've discussed this.
I'm being very nice to them.
No, you're being a bit of a bitch, but you don't know the difference, and that's okay. These are the things that we need to learn, dear. Why I've sent you with them. Remember, be with them is to learn. Yes, the smile, the smile. Good practice, good practice. Anyways,
Thank you.
young Haro, the latch on here has a dispel glyph on it. It's designed to protect itself from magic. Unfortunately, it's far too powerful for me to interact with. There's a second glyph on here, a glyph of warding. This will simply melt your brain the minute you open it without dispelling it. That is quite powerful as well. And the final layer of this beautiful cake that you've handed me, the clasp itself is a gear lock, something very well made. A bit of the old world. I am not familiar with it whatsoever, but it's definitely a magical tome of some sort. I'm assuming you know precisely what it is. The look of frantic fever on your face reveals much, young one. Even with the
Even
mask,
through the mask, it's
even
very
with the
clear.
mask on,
Just-
the eyes seem to be, yes, very telling.
Frantic body language.
This
Yeah.
whole time, I'm just staring at him, knowing that he almost killed me.
All right. Yes, I know something of what might be in the contents.
If
I
you
would appreciate your discretion
oh,
on this matter.
certainly, I wouldn't have any repeat customers if I went about the business of telling everything that I did. I, however, would recommend maybe taking it to Nobbins. He would be familiar with the lock. I don't have a lot of people here skilled in arcane nature, as it's dangerous to wield spells on the back of a massive beast. Usually, not something we allow, except for minor incantations, minor things. But
Gray didn't say Nobbins to Harrow.
yeah, during your two discussion, Zephora and Dar are not familiar with Nobbins yet. Gray had mentioned that to you when you two had peeled off to have your private conversation regarding the messenger box and your book and other activities that you did.
Is this Nobbins here on Progenitus?
Yes, he has a small tinker shop called Nobbins Shop near the center quarter, near the Shifting Sands Tavern. Not too far from the marketplace and easy to find.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, absolutely, dear. Anything else I can help you all with?
This
We have some coded books that I cannot decipher. We've looked at them, and perhaps you might take a look at them.
I can certainly try.
So
think I
show her
had-
the. Yeah,
do
do
you
you
have
want
those or did I have them? Yeah, whoever has them. If I have them, I'm gonna take them out to show her.
Okay, you take one of the books out. Oh, coded journals. Not familiar with this code. Does seem to be a slaver code for sure. I don't know of anybody sophisticated enough to handle this, but if you can leave me just one of the books, I shall do what I can. I do have some potions and other things I can try to see if I could figure out what this code is, or maybe even build you a primer of some sort to allow you to figure it out yourselves. But coded languages are what they are for, to keep secrets.
Do you know on this route? You've done this before with the colony.
Oh,
Many,
yes,
many
I travel with them often. This is one of them.
Do you? I believe you were heading into slaving territory. Do you have any connections that you know of on the way who might be familiar with codes?
Oh, well, I don't know if we're heading directly into slaver territory. They have been known to raid into this area.
Got it.
We're
But
making
no.
our way to Fema Valley for the market. But for the most part, we see them. They usually run from us. We are very defensible. And with the Wraith flying within the area, I doubt that they'll be seen this season. The Wraith is
Well,
a
good-
most
good for us.
formidable dirigible.
Good for us overall, then.
It depends on what end of the spectrum you take that as. I mean, death is death, and it is what it is. But yes, please leave this book with me, and I'll do my best.
I'll leave. I guess one of the smaller ones. I'll just
Right now.
kinda pick
Takes a
one.
small journal from you, sets it onto her workbench, and already kind of turns to her ceramics and glasses, and she's beginning to mix concoctions.
Mhm. Harrow, you have a book you can't open.
We have a book
It must be frustrating. Is that
that must be
Sephora?
dispelled. That
What
can't
have
be
I
dispelled.
told you, Zephora? Behavior. Her face is buried into her kit, and she's mixing everything with one hand, and she points a finger at you, Zephora, reminding you your manners.
I put my hand on your shoulder, very robotic-like. Don't worry, we'll find a way to open it for you.
Good, good.
Terribly comforting, Sephora.
Now, are we going to go to this tinkerer shop? Or no? That'll be 2 more people that know.
I look over at Gray. Part of me feels like we just don't have another option.
Those are my thoughts.
Mistress Greenbottle. Mistress Greenbottle.
Yes, dear. I'm working. What can I do for you?
You were right about the dagger. It's been very interesting.
Oh, well. Keep tabs on it and on Gray. I don't think it should be a problem, but if it becomes one, feel free to bring them both back to me.
All right, I will. It's going to be a problem.
Your excitement is noticeable.
Mm.
A very
I'm
human
sorry.
trait, Sephora.
Nope, no.
You learn quickly. Perhaps
Yes.
these folks are a good influence on you.
No, I don't have any emotions.
Hmm. You're
Look
still
at
a
it.
terrible liar as well.
Maybe.
For
You know
the
me
smugness,
best.
Captain, I am unfamiliar with this emotion.
So where are you guys heading off to?
Think of a
Nobbins.
Nobbins. Nobbins.
It's 9 o'clock. Are we good with keeping going, or do we need a break? It's up to you guys. Gray?
I'm sleepy either way.
Okay,
I'm good.
fair enough. Gray, yes.
Oh,
I'm well, okay. So to the thing you just said, if we could wrap within the next like half hour, that would be great.
Okay.
I would like to ask Green Bottle something before we go.
Are you waiting until everyone's gone? Is that the main? Okay. Everybody else is done with Green Bottle at this point and beginning to make their way out to potentially go and track down Nobbins, leaving you alone, Gray, with Green Bottle. Her head is still down, working on something that you could only assume was to aid her in deciphering the journal. And then before you even can ask the question, her voice drifts towards you. Gray, what can I do for you? She doesn't even look up.
Yeah. Okay. How many fingers am I holding up right now?
Don't know. I make potions, not guesses.
Okay.
Oh, that was fire. That was so good.
Okay. I don't know. I was just testing because I feel like you could like see the future and stuff, and maybe you knew that one. I don't know. Question. I have a question for you.
Yes, dear.
Can you see the past that isn't your own?
I can see what's in front of me. I have knowledge of what's behind me. I can use some of my abilities to examine certain details if I have enough information provided.
Okay. If I at some point was looking for somebody, but don't have a very firm description on them, could I don't know. I know that's very vague, and that's kind of been the bane of trying to solve this whole thing is I don't know much.
Do you not know much, or do you not remember much?
Both. I think more the latter.
So, You believe you contain a memory of someone that you cannot seem to recall.
I just nod, even though she's not looking at me.
Interesting. And she, kind of brings her form up away from the table, lifts the monocle gear contraption off of her face, stares at you for a moment, then turns to a metal shelf with kind of like bone and leather and stuff on it. And she pulls out a small metal box. You can hear some rattling of glass, pulls out a very small, intensely bright yellow vial and hands it to you. And then she puts the monocle back down, goes back to working. And she leans her face back into her work. I'm a practitioner of helping those that seek information. I think helping individuals is important. However, it's a choice you must make on your own. You feel you are ready? Drink that small vial and think about the memory you wish to recall. And it may come back to you, it may not. It'll at least afford you the opportunity, dear.
How will I know when it's the right time to try?
Oh, well, nothing's ever the right time to try anything, dear. But feel you'll know.
Do you see how incredibly not helpful that answer was? No offense.
Oh, none
Nothing is
taken,
ever
dear.
right.
I find speaking cryptically to intelligent people is, well, fun, good sport.
Well, then you're not having any fun.
You're just my
Not
tiny,
very
tiny
intelligent.
plaything.
She stops working on the potion to look up at you, the monocle left down. Oh, Gray. That scar on your neck means you're quite intelligent, quite aware of your path. You know what you should be doing. Perhaps this memory has been hidden for a purpose. The engine that drives your soul in a forward direction as opposed to a chaotic one. You will know, Gray. You will know. Kind of looks back down, goes back to work, puff of smoke. One of the skin-like pages being turned as he's now taking notes and puff of smoke.
Do you think you're going to be able to undo all of that that's going on with that book by yourself?
I think I could figure out a primer for you and your friends to decipher this. What the meanings are relevant to me, but perhaps.
I have very conflicting feelings about you, but please don't explode.
Oh no, dear. The last time that happened, I was in bed for a month, so I would prefer not to explode either.
Okay, I could just stand here to talk to you for like the next 2 hours, so I'm gonna walk away now.
As you walk out of the hovel, the others are out there waiting for you. The four of you begin to egress towards the center quarter where the market district kind of is, where the Shifting Sands Tavern is. Quite easily, you find the Nobbins Teaker Shop. It's got a heavy metal sign kind of bolted on top of a very nondescript kind of sand and like almost like an Adobe style building, a bit like the Shifting Sands Tavern. It would seem the more robust permanent structures are made of Adobe-like material, although with water not being existent, you can only imagine what they use as a moist binding agent. Single door entrance. Every now and then, acrid smoke coming out from underneath the door. Some high-pitched coughing. The small round windows along the wall flare a bit from activity that's going on inside, and you hear, "Yes, that's the one."
Taro's friend.
Sounds like it.
It's gonna knock on the door.
Yeah, you
Or
knock
open
on.
it up. If it's a shop, I'll just open up.
Yeah, you
the
just
door, yeah.
door opens up.
Oh,
Hello. Oh, whoa. What is all this?
Sweet.
Oh,
Never
I'm
seen stuff
looking
like
down.
this before.
So as
I was looking at
you-
everybody else. I didn't notice the thing changed.
So as all of you walk in, you can see what could only be described as a laboratory. Rumors of laboratories that exist like this are quite profound. This is mostly lore as far as the four of you are concerned. Stepping into the space, electrical pulsing copper metallic like poles, bookcases made of metal, just filled with all manner of gadgetry and components and gearworks. At some point, you look over to the counter to see a small halfling of younger age than most of the others that you've dealt with. He seems to be working on something, and then he smashes at the counter, and a small robotic creature pops up onto the counter and starts clicking and clacking across the counter. "Now you get back here this instant, you piece of shit!" And it kind of hops down onto the lab floor and begins to do circles. You watch as he's like searching for his counter on his counter. He reaches underneath and he pulls out a copper rod and goes like that. And you watch as the creature just falls to the ground. And the halfling looks up. "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize I had guests. Sorry about that. What can I do for the lot of you?" Anyways, what can I do for you?
It's like if I didn't have any charm.
I don't know what that means.
I have a heavily warded object I need you to take a look at.
I don't do wards. I do locks, gears, components. I make things that go
Yes.
boom. I don't really do magics. Well, not in the traditional sense. Well, I kind of like to do magics where you take things, you infuse into them, and any book, you say?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. I mean, what? Why is she raising her hand? Is she not aware that her armpit stinks? I can smell it all the way the fuck over here.
They're trying to talk. Gray.
Is this what it's like when you try to talk to me? And I just keep talking for forever.
Only sometimes.
Oh God!
There's something wrong with you people. Are you here to shop? Talk?
Well, we have a gear lock that needs to be unlocked.
Oh,
I'm very curious on how to do it, so if could perhaps
let me
be a
see the
teaching
book.
moment
I'd love
for
to
me.
take a look at it. Do you have the book with you? Is it in your pocket? Do you have it
No,
inside
do
of a box? I mean, I like books. I like lock books. They're lots of fun.
open the book?
We may need to do something to it before it is safe for you to fully examine.
Oh,
It has.
is it trapped? Does it have glyphs and wards on it?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, normally people blow up when they try to dispel those.
I
Yep.
listened for an explosion.
It has-
in the distance.
It has those.
Oh, well,
Ha-
give it to me. Let me take a look.
All right, go on.
Oh.
Be
Ooh.
terribly careful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, terribly. Clunk. Clunks it on his table. Just give me a moment. And he kind of reaches over for like a glass, like a weird glass shaped disc. And he swings it over the book, puts his whole face into it. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, oh, yeah, that's a doozy. That'll melt your fucking face off. I like those. Those are cool. Well, if you, if you could get these glyphs and wards dispelled, I could easily take apart this lock. It's very sophisticated, and I am a sophisticated guy. I know what to do when it comes to these locks. However, with these wards on it, it's very difficult. But, I have something here that if you let me try it, it might actually dispel these wards.
What do you have in mind?
Well, I've got this copper disc, and he reaches under and pulls it up. If I put it over, sometimes this thing dispels things.
That wouldn't hurt us.
Yeah, yes, dear.
What? You said sometimes it dispels things.
Well-
Do the other times?
Well, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. You know, and you watch as he reaches up and moves his hair to like wipe off a little bit of work dust off his forehead. And there's a noticeable burn scar across the right side of his brow right there.
Have you also been exploded more than once? Like
Oh, they're my favorite.
it's bad for you.
No, it's quite fun. You learn a lot when you explode.
IBD.
Can I have your permission to bring you back as a skeleton if you die, though?
Oh, well, certainly. You could put gears in me too.
Cool.
All right,
Have you
so
been eaten by a dinosaur twice?
No. Why would you ever want to be eaten by a dinosaur twice? I mean,
Oh, I
wouldn't,
was just
wouldn't the
curious.
first time be enough?
who knows? It's an impenetrable mystery. Look, it can dispel glyphs. Is it targeted when you use it, or might there be residual magic lost from the thing that is not what you expect?
You're one of them smart people, aren't you?
Yes,
So you
I
know
am
what
one
you-
of those smart people.
So you know how to do this then. That's why you're here, because you're smarter than me, and you want me to tell you how to do something you already know how to do. It's a
I-
copper disc, mate. It's a magical item that I bought off a trader. I glide it over magically glyphed items. Sometimes they dispel, sometimes they don't. I mean, it's worth a try, I think.
I think you should let him try, Haro. You know you want to look inside that book.
Okay. Yes, we're going to try to do this.
But could it make the book go boom?
I think you said go ahead.
I don't think it'll make the book go boom. I think it may rebound and cause the spell to not be dispelled. I think the only way to really trigger the spell is if I try to open the lock without if the glyph and ward is still on it and I open the lock, definitely is going to go boom.
Oh. Oh. That's good to know.
Well,
Isn't it, Haro?
This is fine. I'm sure that everything will be fine, and that nothing is going to happen to my book.
Did he just fly away? How's he walk with that bass on his feet?
As he flies by me, I don't. You got this.
and with that, you watch as Dobbins takes the book over to another table and with the copper disc kind of runs it right over the lock.
I put my hands over Haro's eyes. So he doesn't know.
There's like a popping arcanic like sound. And then he runs it over again. Goes off again. There's like trails of acrid smoke coming off the copper disc. He kind of looks up from the table. There's now eyebrows that are kind of coiling out from the arcane like backwash of the burn over his face, heavily sooted now from the effect. Well, uh, kind of throws the disc onto the ground. Well, that didn't work. Excuse me for a moment. And he kind of reaches into his pouch, his raptor leather pouch, pulls out a bottle, drinks it really quick. That's better. Well, what shall we do? What shall we do? I can't dispel this thing. That was the only gadget I had that I thought would work. But these glyphs and wards are pretty powerful. Have you talked to Miss Greenbottle yet?
Yes, also at a bit of a loss.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. We don't have many arcane users in Espis.
The bottom line, though, is we get rid of the wards, you can open it.
Yes, I definitely think that the guild mechanism on this latch is something I can deal with. I'm here. You can have your book back now. And he hands the book back to you and kind of cleans himself off a bit. And you watch as he pulls a tooth out and throws it on the ground and wanders back over to his counter.
So you're saying if somebody
Fuck
had
them up.
a dispel magic type spell, you feel that would take the wards away?
I think that's plausible. Definitely plausible.
You know, look at Gray, look at Harrow, look at Gray, look at the book, look at Gray.
I don't know why you're looking at me. I'm supposed to be standing by somewhere.
Oh, I thought we were all in here.
Yeah, you're all
Sorry.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are. Harold told me to stand by as the backup.
Yes, and I am making it known. Hey, dispelling the magic might be helpful.
All right. Listen, great. We're going to try this your way after you get some rest. Just be aware it might try to kill you. I'm not interested in losing you here.
It's not even the first magical item that has tried to kill me today, so, like, I mean...
But somehow it might even be more ancient and dangerous than the first.
No big. Casual.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your help, strange one. I will be taking my leave.
Well, usually a cost associated with, the information.
All right. What would you say is your normal price?
Oh,
what we
finder's fee,
received.
5 tokens should do it.
I look at my own supply, trying to see how many I have. 320. Yeah, okay. I will go ahead and give 5 there.
Titan's Fall tokens. Ooh. You watch as he puts 4 of them underneath behind the counter, takes the other one, holds it to his forehead, makes the incantation, and drops it into a ceramic jar. It fills with water, and he drinks it. Oh, that Titan's Fall water's good shit.
If you can help us get it open once we clear the wards, there's more in it for you. Good.
Okay.
Stay thirsty, friend.
Yes. I think that's a commercial I've seen before. Anyways. So what are the rest of you doing?
We're
I'm gonna go get this tooth.
going to leave and go to the tavern.
Give me a sleight of hand, or actually give me, you see it. He doesn't seem to care. So as far as I'm concerned, you pick it up if you want to pick up the tooth.
Pick it up. And when we dispel this and bring it back, I'll tip you by putting the tooth back in your mouth.
Oh, it's okay, dear. I've got plenty. He reaches into a front breast pocket, pulls out a tooth, and jams it up into the space. Yeah! Woo!
Oh, okay. Okay.
I would just like pet her tusk protectively, like.
I'm leaving now.
With my hands.
I'm leaving this place.
Once we step outside, Dara wants to give Harrow a coin, and just say, "I know you put the money down for the raptors earlier. We never contributed to that, so here you go." Just to kind of pay her portion.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what he did, but I know there was something you laid a bunch of water tokens on the ground, and we didn't help you with that, but it benefited all of us. Anyway, paying you back.
How much?
That was the cost of getting a ride in the community of Espis for
Yeah.
the Espis leader. Yes, correct.
our feeder.
That's right.
ride.
That's right. Okay, so how much was being given back?
I couldn't remember how much it's down. Was it like 5? How many tokens did we put down originally? I don't recall.
It was
I don't have
5.
my notebook. It was
Yeah,
5
yeah,
originally.
yeah.
Okay. Then I'll give you 1 for mine.
All right. All right, sounds good. Yes, very well. Good. Thank you. And I'm going to just be kind of like very focused on the book because I put it with the others. All right. All right, Gray, if you wouldn't mind trying to get an early night, I'll be very anxiously awaiting this in the morning. We'll need to find another place to stay. The book won't allow me to rest within our normal abode. Also, I've completely lost my ability to cast it for the day.
I think we had lodging. We just didn't. We went to the tower instead, right? We can go back to those rooms.
Was it offered to us for our entire stay, or was it covered for like a day?
Pharaoh had said it was yours until you got to the Femur Valley, so about a week.
Okay. All right, sounds good. We could take that. Go back in that direction and do our best to just let Gray keep a low profile and stand around them. They're short, so hopefully we'll be chill.
So where are you guys heading off to?
I think the tavern to get some rest.
Okay.
Because it was nighttime this point, yeah.
Not quite. It's closer towards like early afternoon at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm down to just chill until it's rest time, go over my spells, make sure Gristler doesn't get too fat eating that, like, cancer monster's flesh.
So the 4 of you don't have to travel very far. You come out of Nobbin's shop, travel about 20 feet over to where the Shifting Sands is located. You traverse through the open doors into quite a busy atmosphere. A lot of patrons, a lot of activity going on. There are drinks being served at the bar, tables of people cloistered about. The sound of the bardic music kind of drifting through the tavern. There's a handful of looks towards your direction, but then back to tankards and other kind of goings on. All 4 of you give me perception checks, please.
9.
7.
Perception. 18.
Okay.
8.
8. For the 3 of you, not really noticing, Sephora, sitting at a table, you notice somebody intently watching the 4 of you. Heavily cowled, you barely see the individual's face. They're doing their best to use their tankard as a way to hide the fact that they are staring very intently at you. You see the barest whiff of a smile as you watch Harrow trip a thin glass thread at his foot. And that's where we're going to finish tonight.
Thread.
Rude.
Dang it!
So if anybody's wondering, I am now
Keep going, Hero.
co-mingling Tailspire as part of my virtual solution for encounters, which is lots of fun to build with. This is exactly something that I've been waiting for. Easy to use. I can literally...
That's so cool. I like it. You can zoom in so we can actually see what's
Super
happening
cool.
better.
Gar, look at your back end right there. Look.
Oh, let me see. Nice.
Nice.
Very impressive.
Orc thong.
And it allows me to give you guys point of view, perspective, and all the fun stuff. So it's, I'm not going to use it all the time. I'm going to use it kind of based on when it makes sense to use it. But it's just another way for me to have like 4 or 5 pre-built encounters ready to go, so that I'm not forcing you guys or railing you guys into like a particular situation. It allows your choices to still continue to drive the narrative, because, as always, that driven narrative is my muse. I love it when you all take the reins and do what you want to do, and I just narrate out what you run into. So thanks everybody for coming. Thanks all of you for coming out Friday. For those that hung out in the chat, go pop into our Discord, roll some fresh dice on Monday and try to win some dice. We've already closed the current dice giveaway, but we will have a new one starting on Monday. Bring your dice channel. Other than that, like I always say, thanks for joining us. Be safe, be kind, and play a game. It's kind of important in life. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.